Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back. Sorry, I haven't done an Average Joe video in quite some time. I'm sorry I haven't kept up with it. Unfortunately, time hasn't allowed me as much as I wanted to keep up with these videos, just because I've been more worried about my studies. Unfortunately, I've been doing pretty well since the last Average Joe video, with the exception of this past class that I would like to talk to you about today. And that is Project and Portfolio 1. If you would like some added details on another point of view with this class, I have a really close buddy of mine. His name is Terrence Robinson. We're actually tackling this course together. He's another disabled veteran. Some of his content gears towards using the Voc Rehab program. So if you veterans out there are wanting to use Voc Rehab, go ahead, hit him up. I'm going to leave a link to his channel below. And yeah, he goes further in depth than I could ever would. As far as Voc Rehab, just because I haven't done it. But anyways, so Project and Portfolio 1. This has been my downfall of the class. So Project and Portfolio 1 it's designed for the students to pretty much get your initial portfolio set up. They're going to hook you up with walking you through how to set up a website for your portfolio, and they're running off the Wix website building program. I'm not too familiar with website creating. Some of you guys out there might have your opinions on it. I've never done one by myself. The best thing that I can equivalent to that is probably a Facebook page or an Instagram page, or hell, even a YouTube page. That's about it. I've never created my own website before, so you guys can have your own opinions with that. Cheers, everybody. But anyways, so Project Portfolio 1, you're going to set up with your Wix website. And that's where you're going to be, I'm assuming, going to be building off of with your next portfolio classes. That'll be coming down the grapevine, which is awesome, I think. Yeah, I think it's a great tool to have to at least get you something. I'm sure there's better website building programs out there, but hey, at least they're providing you a free version of it. Outside of that, the class on paper is phenomenal because it's in the name. You are creating your own songs that are designed to represent you as a portfolio on the portfolio. And again, on paper, it sounds great. The problem with the class that I found is there's only a handful of graded assignments. And really and truly, there's only 4, which some of you out there were like, oh man, there's only 4 assignments. Well, these assignments are heavily graded, or heavily weighted, I should say. And this is where my downfall was. My very first assignment, which was pretty much it was a refresher on using the synthesizers to recreate melodies and beats and stuff like that, which we have tackled on in a previous class. And I didn't get too good on it. I don't really deal with synthesizers a whole lot, at least creating my own synthesizers. I rely heavily on presets, which is also my downfall. If I would have paid more attention to making my own synthesizers, I probably could have saved a couple bucks or so along my musical journey. But yeah, I can create them now, but I'm not a sound designer by all means. I rely on presets. But anywho, so I didn't do so hot on that one. So the second week comes along, and that was a pretty much building block off of that. And you're going to create your own 16-bar song out of using the synthesizers that you created. Unfortunately, I didn't do hot on that one at all. Actually, I didn't do great on it at all. My song ended up getting rejected, and that sucked. I thought I put a decent amount of thought into it, actually. If you want, I can pause here and allow you guys to listen to that real quick, but or I might just include it at the end. Who knows? Yeah. So anyways, yeah, I didn't do hot on it at all. It got fully rejected. I took a goose egg on the whole assignment. The criteria, as I read it from my point of view, was it had to be electronic instruments, no guitars, no violins, no nothing. So I took that challenge as, okay, I'm going to create an EDM track. So I put this damn, words are hard, EDM track together, and I thought it was very well done for what it was. And yeah, it didn't do well at all. I paid attention to the panning. I had some interesting happy accents that happened within that song that I really enjoyed. But ultimately, it got kicked back and rejected due to the fact that I bounced in place, pretty much converting all my sound files into audio files. And then I chose to hide the individual MIDI formats that pretty much plays the music because I didn't need it anymore. Everything was audio files at that point, no different than an MP3. Which he didn't like that, and he gave me a nice stern talking to, pretty much saying that it was not allowed, which I was like, okay. So I took a hit on that one, which dropped me way down. I ended up, by that point in time, I got a 45 in the class. Up until this point, I've been doing stellar. Like, I've had nothing but A's. Actually, I think I've been holding a 4.0 strong this whole time until this class. So I see the 45 as my overall grade, and now I'm shaking at the knees. And our third assignment was peer grading, which I thought was awesome. And I really think that this needs to be incorporated for every assignment. So on the peer side of things, it was a lot of praise. And I really appreciate everybody that has taken the time to review my music. I really do 100% appreciate every single one of you that takes the time and just checks me out. But yeah, I had a lot of praise from it. I had a couple little suggestions on to change up certain things, which I love because it's stuff that I haven't heard. Especially when you're listening to the same song over and over and over again for editing and trying to get it on par as best you can. I was glad that having an extra set of ears is super beneficial, and I appreciated it. So the final week happens, this past week. I took it upon myself, obviously, since my initial track assignment got rejected. I was going to throw every ounce of freaking oomph behind it. And the best way that I knew I could handle it was doing an orchestral piece, just because that's what I'm assuming has been my strong suit, was orchestral music. I've only been doing only been doing orchestra music for a couple years now. And I think I have a pretty decent understanding on pretty much how to compose. I definitely still have a long ways to go, but yeah, I knew I had enough of a backbone in orchestra music where I was going to let that one shine. So I literally spent the whole week up until the due date pulling all-nighters. I think I only had a couple hours of sleep in between each session. I literally put my blood, sweat, and tears into this orchestra piece, and that one's on my page right now. It is titled Rebirth. But ultimately, if I didn't have that 0, I don't think I would have pushed as hard as I did, and I was kind of glad that it happened because it would have. I think I've been getting complacent. I think that's my issue, is I've been getting complacent and not taking my coursework as serious as I did from my very first Average Joe video. Like, I almost lost a little bit of the passion there for a second. And then getting hit with that 0, it was enough for me to kind of like wake up a little bit and kind of stick it to the man via song, saying, no, I am worthy. I know my talent, and I know my worth. And I know my worth is not a goose egg. It's not a 0. And I guess that emotion translated into my music as far as the overall structure of it. And I'm glad that emotion kind of translated a little bit, because to me, I think that orchestra piece is probably my best work I've done so far. I think it's my best overall mix. I think it's my best overall song structure. My whole goal was with this piece was to literally throw every technique that I've picked up, every technique that I have watched countless hours of YouTube videos for. I wanted to throw everything that I know currently right now, well, as of last week when I wrote it, up until that point, to say, hey, that zero is not me. Here is my music. Which ultimately, it really saved the day, because I ended up getting an 80 for it. I got docked down for not putting in project notes and pretty much taking notes and explaining each one of my steps along the way within the DAW. And also, there was another thing that popped up. Anyways, it was nitty-gritty stuff that was not necessarily song-related, that I got docked down for. But the 80 was enough to get by the class. I ended up getting a D for it, believe it or not. But yeah, it hurt. My ultimate review of this class is definitely pay attention. You know, dot your T's, dot your I's, go back making sure that you dotted your T's and dot your I's, because it is literally by the book. And I think my personal opinion on it is I don't agree with that setup. I agree with the structure on how they, gave you the review items. What I don't agree with is the grading on your own content, your content that's supposed to be representing you. And a lot of it is even the songs that were supposed to go on the portfolio. You had two choices from. You either had your track 1 or your track 2 assignment to pick. Both were about 16 bars. I chose my track 3, which was my track 2 rewrite, and that is a several minute song. But anyways, I digress. That's on me. Obviously that's shooting for the moon. But bare minimum is 16 bars of music. And out of those 16 bars, it is highly structured on what you can and can't do. And I don't agree with that. Your portfolio, in my opinion, and correct me if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. Please let me do. But your portfolio should be a representation of you. If this is going to a client or an interviewer for a job, I want the best of the best to be shown. I want anybody that's wanting to hire me to see me at my true potential. Not these 8-bit songs, half-ass written synthesizer songs that none of us really have a full grasp on doing, at least in my current class structure or class individuals. None of us really have a strong foundation on crafting synthesizers, myself included. And I've been doing electronic music for 14 years now, and I still don't know how to really write my own synthesizers. But again, that's a skill set that I haven't really focused on because I rely on presets. For me, it's easier for me to spend the $60 for a preset package than it is for me to spend days on crafting presets that I'll probably use maybe once in a blue moon. So, yeah, I don't agree with the fact that we're graded as heavy as we are on songs that represent us and the stuff that isn't graded. So there is, in between each of these 4 graded assignments, there are a plethora of stuff to keep you busy. Like, it is a lot of review stuff. Some of it is kind of building off of the music theory course that we had taken previously. But if you don't do those, you lose GPS points, which is at this school is just as important as your GPA, because your GPS at the school has the potential to, get nudged in the right direction by career development as you get closer to the graduation to be getting that professional job, that professional gig, whatever that may be. So GPS is not necessarily a joke. It's a joke in the fact that if you're looking to work for yourself, obviously a GPS credit is not going to benefit you. However, the caveat off of that is if you don't pay attention to it and you start going real low on your GPS points, you have the potential to get academic probation and obviously get kicked out of school. So yeah, it's just as important. But yeah, if you don't do these unweighted assignments, you lose GPS points, which I think is dumb. If you're going to make me spend hours on end to do X amount of assignments, let me get a grade for it. And if these assignments were graded, I think that it would have helped cushion the blow for my one rejected track. And again, I'm talking about myself personally. But even for the everyday student, with 4 assignments that are heavily weighted, messing up on one of those is super difficult to recover from. Like, my last song was literally the saving grace of me getting by. And I don't know if Full Sail is just kind of pushing you through, but regardless, I am thankful that I made it by. That last week was real rough, and I really had a sense of not knowing if I was going to make it and progress to the next class. For me personally, I'm maxed out on my VA credits. That's what's funding me for school. I'm in that small majority that pretty much has a free ride courtesy of the United States military. But because I went to college previously, and yeah, I'm maxed out. So if I fail one class to retake is $500. If I fail one class, that's it for me. My journey through college is done. I'll save those rest of those credits for a just a certificate if that's the case. My whole ideal is to be completely debt free by the end of college, and unfortunately, if one class takes a hit, then I'm done. And that's really the mindset I got to go into with it too. It's literally like being back at basic training and AIT again, where if you really mess up, you're going back. There's no real second chances. But yeah, for me, I don't know. It was a rough road this past month, and I think it was enough of a wake-up call for me to really get my nose in the books again. It was enough to relight the passion because, again, that last song was the best one I've written, I think. I mean, you let me know. But that's pretty much all I have to say on that one. I really and truly, guys, if you guys make it to Project and Portfolio 1, make sure you pay attention, like straight up. Understand that you mess up one time and that in either one of those 4 grades, and at the time of this recording, it's literally 4 assignments that hold your grade accountable. So you mess up on one of those, you take a pretty big hit on one of those, it's going to be an uphill battle. And that's really my only advice for you guys on that one. Just try. Do not underestimate the fact that there's only 4 graded assignments that you can kind of just chill out, because that is not this course, as I have realized. But other than that, guys, everything is going well. We're looking in the future. Right now, I am in my Music Theory 2 class, and hopefully we won't want to lose too many brain cells on it. I hate music theory. I really do. I know I need it, but Jesus, it's so dry. But yeah, we're in Music Theory 2 now, and I think the class after this one is a math class, so we're holding strong. You know, we barely made it through, but hey, we're still here, and that's all that matters. But until next time, guys, I'm going to try and keep these videos up to date. So, till next time, take care, y'all.